Hello, my name is Carlos Navarro. I'm an artist and educator in Miami, Florida. What is primitivism? Primitivism really is an art that is all about simplicity. Let's suppose you've got a little kid and the kid draws something on a piece of paper. He is basically drawing in a very primitive way because he has not been taught. There have been some famous primitive artists. Henri Rousseau, for example, was one of those very famous primitive French artists who sadly, after his death, they couldn't even afford to get him a funeral. So his friends actually had to pay and get together to give him proper burial. I mention that because primitive art is pretty much a dying art form. There's a lot of people today that paint in a primitive way, but they're really not primitive artists. We here in South Florida have a very famous artist, I'm not going to mention the name, but he works out of trash. He gets trash, he was a homeless person, and he winds up creating art out of trash. And that's very primitive. That's about as primitive as you can get. There's also other artists that create things like miniature animals or large people with small animals, really out of proportion. And they're people that have never really been taught the classics. And that's really what primitivism is. It's art from someone who has not been taught.